I'm Joy Macknight, Managing Editor at The Banker, and I'm joined by Harry Newman, Head of Banking at Swift, to talk about real-time payments. Harry, thanks so much for joining me. So what is really driving the move to real-time payments across the world?
It's just the way we live. Today we live in a digital age, we have instant gratification of everything, and payments have to go the same way. We've had real-time payments for some years in domestic environments. They're now taking off pretty much everywhere. And we just see that as a trend that is going to go on and on. And if people experience real-time payments in their private lives, they're going to want it in their business lives as well. So the treasurer of a company, for example, if he's at home, he can order on a website and pay in real time and receive goods in real time, or pay a bill in real time. He's going to expect the same in his corporate life. And we've seen that trend take place. We see now perhaps 60 different countries develop real-time payment systems. And that will just keep going and growing and growing around the world till every jurisdiction has its own real-time payment infrastructure.
Okay, but what challenges does this pose to the banks, really?
Well, banks have to reinvent their own offices and work in real time as well, because it's not just real time, it's a pressure to move to all time, to 24/7. So when you see a bank making payments, it becomes a bit like Niagara Falls. Payments are just always on, always flowing. The flow might go up and down a bit, but ultimately payments will flow that way and they will just keep moving, because at some point somebody is trying to make a payment. So we have to adapt and move with the demands of the customer base.
But as you said, most of these systems that are being developed, the real-time payment systems, are domestic. What are the challenges to doing this cross-border?
So cross-border, things are obviously a bit more complicated because you have to cope with the different jurisdictions, you have to cope with the different rules that apply in each country, because each country develops its own system to meet its own requirements. That's normal, it's logical. But internationally you have to cope with that, and then you have to cope with the different compliance regimes that apply, because international payments are placed under a more a tighter regulation than domestic ones, and understandably. So what we've seen with Swift and a GPI is that we invented GPI, and we did that to give transparency primarily for corporate payments. And we did not at the time expect to be moving towards instant straight away. But in fact, international payments move quickly. Nearly all payments are made within one day. Most are made within minutes or even seconds. So what we've realized is actually the road is open to make instant now international. And that's where we're really trying to go.
All right, because you've done a pilot recently, which is the Swift GPI Instant. Can you tell me a little bit about that, and also, the benefits of it, and how it's progressing?
So we've done 3 trials so far. We've done proofs of concept with Australia, with Singapore, and with Europe with TIPS, with the ECB's instant payment solution. And in every case, what we find is that by bringing together GPI internationally, combined with the local real-time payment system, we can have an end-to-end payment in seconds to the beneficiary. Because in today's world, people talk about bank-to-bank speed. That's really not very interesting. What matters is, when does the client get the money and when can they spend it? So in all 3 cases, we find that we can have an integration between the international space and the domestic real-time space, which is able to credit the client during the night in real time. And it's also done through banks, of course, because it provides a solution that banks can now start to market to their clients. So all 3 are great, and we're looking forward to a new future.
So how do you envision the future of cross-border payments?
We this week have announced the launch of GPI Instant. We've created a central capability, and we're inviting all real-time payment systems in the world to come with us on a journey which will provide, in partnership between Swift and the local system, for real-time system payments end-to-end, because that is the future. And we know that now is the time we can do it. We've done the proofs of concept. We're happy to work on more of those, and we'll work with all the jurisdictions to make that happen. But really, now is the time. We can build it, and we're ready to go.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your insights, Harry.
Thank you. You're welcome.